Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sober School, where you can always find experience, strength, and hope. My name is Drew. I am an alcoholic through and through. We want to welcome you to this platform here today, regardless of what your addiction may be. You're absolutely welcome here. We support your pathway. Your pathway, not mine, not just everyone else's, but your pathway. And whichever pathway it is that you choose, well, we are here to help, and we definitely want to make sure that it works for you. If you're watching us through our Recovery Classroom Facebook group page, this is a private group, and we definitely want to welcome you here. We also want to encourage you to share your own experience, strength, and hope, and your own words of wisdom. You never know who needs to hear what it is you might have to say, and it could just change someone's life, including your own. Speaking of changing lives, I want to give a special shout out to our friends at the program facility we were at last night. I absolutely love coming down there. All the guys that we talk all the time about how much fun we have coming down there. You guys keep us sober. And I mean, Matt said it Saturday, Eric said it last night. You guys keep us sober, and so we love you guys, and we love coming down. And as I mentioned last night, starting next Tuesday night, we will be bringing the Crosstalk meeting to you guys. We're still going to have the Crosstalk meeting on Friday night. That's not going anywhere. But now we're starting a new Crosstalk meeting, this time in your very facility. So, for those of you who may not be familiar with Crosstalk, you're going to get an introduction to it for sure. And with that being said, the last couple of days I've been able to watch Eric. Matt shared his lead on Saturday. Eric gave his lead last night. And for me, it was such a walk down memory lane, because I remember when I first met both of these guys. They were the guys who wanted nothing to do with any 12-step program. They were going to take the fucking elevator. They didn't need no steps, right? They were going to walk into the room, go through the motions, and sit in the back of the room or sit in the corner and do absolutely nothing, just sit and listen. And now, here they are, getting up in a room full of strangers and sharing some of the most toughest times of their life. If that doesn't fire you up, Jesus, check your heartbeat, check your pulse, get to the doctor now. Knowing where these guys were at and seeing where they're at now, man, that fires me up. And being able to share that with the facility, the group in the facility last night, holy crap! They were going to have to peel me off the walls. They're going to need duct tape next time I come down there and just tape me to my chair. So, and I want to talk about that. That's a step of faith for Matt, and that's a huge step of faith for Eric, for these guys stepping out of their comfort zone. They took that step of faith. And what does that mean? Well, let me start here. There are going to be times in your lives, there's been many times, even recently for me, where I have done everything humanly possible. I have tried to do something, a situation arises, okay, I'm going to try to make something good out of it, right? Make lemonade out of lemons, right? I want to try to do something good, and I just can't seem to break through. I just can't seem to get over that hump, and it's a struggle. And so at what point do you say, okay, God, you got to take care of this? Well, that's a very fair question. At what point do you say, God, I've tried everything. I've tried everything that I know to do, and I need you to, I'm going to have to give this to you. And the reason why you want to ask that question, for me anyway, the reason why I want to ask that question is because I need to know that I did try everything. Let me explain. If God is driving my car, matter of fact, the God of my understanding, not necessarily yours, doesn't have to be your God, my God, they don't have to be the same, but the God of my understanding, if he's driving my vehicle, okay, if he's the one driving my car, he needs some Fred Flintstone horsepower behind that shit, right? Which is me. Just because God's driving the car doesn't mean I get to sit over and catnap in the passenger seat. Doesn't mean I get to lay down and veg out in the back seat. No, see, I have to be doing something. If God's driving the car, I gotta be the son bitch powering the vehicle. All right, like I said, the Fred Flintstone, I gotta be providing the horsepower, providing the forward momentum. All God's doing is just, one, determining which direction I'm going, and two, determining how much of that power that I generate is applied to my progress. See, that's some good shit. I need to write that down. That's what it's about. So God wants to see us, see the amount of effort that we're putting into whatever it is we're praying for. He really does. And, it's so shocking. There will be times we'll ask God to move mountains, but then we're surprised whenever he hands us a fucking shovel and says to get digging. All right? I know that's happened to me many times. So whether it's right, it doesn't. Sometimes I get so caught up in trying to do what I want, and I sometimes forget this is what God wants me to be doing. I would try to do something. Doing something. I'd rather do something and God redirect my path I'd rather do something. And God say, no, that's not the direction I want you to go. I want you to go over here. All right. I'd rather do that than to sit back and say, God, why aren't you moving mountains for me? I'd rather do that than sit back and say, God, when are you going to make this happen? See, God, again, wants us to provide the horsepower. He's providing the navigation. He's providing the control of the ship. But we have to do something. And something is better. Doing something is better than doing nothing and then complaining that God's not moving mountains in my life. Now, with all of that being said, what happens whenever I've done everything singly that I possibly can and things still aren't happening? At that point, that's when I have to look at God and say, Lord, I have tried everything. Honestly, sincerely, I have tried everything. I'm just going to have to turn it over to you. And that's where faith comes in. Faith. And that's an important part of any spiritual program. I don't give a shit what spiritual program you're participating in. Faith is an important thing to have. What is faith? Faith is the taking action on things that and beliefs that we don't have proof for. Taking steps into sights unseen and unknown, right? Great example for me, the step of faith is believing the Houston Astros are going to win the World Series next year. Probably not going to happen, but I want to believe that. However, I don't know that. I just don't. You may have faith that something good is going to happen, but what are you doing? What are you doing to exercise and demonstrate that faith? See, that's the question. And that's why I say, I'd rather do something and show God, hey, look, God, I'm trying to demonstrate my faith in your will of this thing taking place. I'm trying to demonstrate and exercise my faith. I'm trying to show you that I have faith. I do have faith you're going to take charge and you're going to make everything okay. But having faith and demonstrating faith, those are two totally different things. And God wants to see us demonstrating our faith. And that's why I say he wants to see us Fred Flintstone in that shit. Right? He wants to see us, pushing that vehicle while he's steering it and determining how much power that is applied to our progress. That's our demonstration of faith. What are we doing to move ourselves forward? If we're moving ourselves forward and God's driving the car, what do we have to worry about? If God's controlling the navigation, he's controlling the speed, all we have to do is provide the power, right? And that power is provided through faith, through believing and taking action on things that we believe in, although we have no evidence to support it. If that's not a definition of faith, I don't know what is. And I can tell you, I can absolutely tell you countless things that have happened just in the last several weeks, a couple months for me, where I have had to say, Lord, I've got to give this to you. I've tried everything. I've tried to do this, tried to do that. Nothing's working, so I've tried. I've tried to demonstrate and exercise my faith in you. Now, here's the ultimate exercise of faith, turning it over to him. And that's what I want to encourage you today. Are you demonstrating your faith? Have you demonstrated your faith? What are you doing? What have you tried to do to show God that, okay, all right, Lord, I've done all that you've asked me to do. I've done all that you've made available for me to do. I'm now going to have to turn it over to you. That's not a bad place to be in. A lot of people think, oh my God, this is the end of the world. No. Matter of fact, that's usually when the miracles start taking place. And I tell you what, I've seen an awful lot of miracles in my day. With that being said, I'll let you guys go. I hope you guys have an absolutely kick-ass Wednesday. Again, to our friends at the facility last night, thank you guys for letting us come down and hang out with you. It's an absolute blast. The guys love it. I love it. You guys helped keep us sober. You guys watching these videos, I want to thank you for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You don't have to do this. You don't have to watch these things. But by God, I appreciate it. I know my family appreciates it too. But you know why? Because this keeps me sober as well. And I could not be more appreciative. So, that being said, I'll let you guys go. I hope you have a kick-ass Wednesday. We will be talking again soon. Remember, guys, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.